Well, now that the FAA has finished their testing of Boeing's fixes to the MAX MCAS system, they are in a holding pattern while they wait the 45-day period for public comment and rebuttal. However, that doesn't mean that the testing is over. Far from it. Next up, it's world regulators' turn to begin MAX testing of their own. And first up on that list is Transport Canada. That's next on Maximus. Well, it looks like the Boeing MAX's road to recovery is still on track. Reuters was the first this week to report that Transport Canada, the Canadian aviation regulator, is set to be the first non-U.S. regulator to conduct such activities, following test flights performed earlier this summer by the U.S. FAA, which is tasked with certifying the aircraft. The Canadian tests are part of the regulator's independent review on whether to validate proposed changes by Boeing to the aircraft, Transport Canada said. These tests will validate key areas of the FAA certification process. Transport Canada said it's preparing to participate in the U.S.-led Joint Operational Evaluation Board, which would evaluate minimum pilot training requirements with partners from Europe and Brazil. The Joint Operational Evaluation Board is currently planned for mid-September, according to a person briefed on the matter. The scheduling and participation in the Joint Operational Evaluation Board is dependent on the outcomes of the current certification and validation activities, Transport Canada said. The FAA said each country will make its own decision on return to service and said the Joint Operational Evaluation Board is just the next milestone. However, there is a problem. The Canadian-U.S. border remains closed to air travel due to a certain medical crisis ongoing in the world right now. I can't actually say the name of the crisis or YouTube will demonetize this video, but I trust you know what I'm talking about. It rhymes with Sharona. So exactly how will Boeing and Transport Canada get around the lockdown? Well, Bloomberg is reporting that Boeing and Transport Canada has come up with a sneaky cool plan. This coming week, the week of August 24th, Boeing is going to fly a MAX jet over the border into Vancouver, Canada, instead of basing all the activity in Seattle. Flight testing will take place in U.S. airspace, with the aircraft then returning to British Columbia to drop off the Transport Canada staff, the regulator said in an email Friday. Mitigation measures due to the pandemic have been established for the validation activities, including flight tests to ensure the health and safety of Transport Canada employees. According to Bloomberg, the Canadian agency's multiple days of test flights will be the first by an international regulator after the FAA spent days of rigorous testing on the MAX earlier this summer. Travel restrictions have complicated Boeing's efforts to work with regulators at home and abroad to certify the MAX to resume commercial service. Transport Canada employees will also be flown to Seattle to conduct separate evaluations on a Boeing-run engineering flight simulator, and then they will be flown back to Vancouver. Transport Canada said it is now conducting the tests only after completing its review of data from the FAA flights. Boeing completed its first round of certification test flights, which were conducted with U.S. regulators on July 1st. Because the plane is built in the U.S., the FAA is taking the lead on certifying the plane. After reviewing the results of the flights and Boeing's detailed plan for revising systems on the plane, the FAA on August 3rd said it had tentatively approved the fixes. The public was given 45 days to comment on the proposed changes, meaning the agency could sign off on the return sometime in the fall. In addition to changes to the plane's computer systems and wiring, the FAA and regulators in other nations are also in the process of reviewing revisions to pilot training programs for the plane. So it seems things are moving along quite swiftly now for the MAX program's recertification process. I kinda like the plan they came up with to skirt around the whole pandemic closed border situation. Feels kinda clandestine and sneaky. Well, that's the MAX update for now, but you know me, if there's ever any breaking MAX news, I'll be sure and let you know about it. Now it's your turn to let me know down below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and ring the bell. And as always, remember, leave the rubber on the runway and your troubles on the ground. And I will see you next time in the air. Yeah, this Maximus.